Hello everyone and welcome back to our Football Manager 2017 European Journeyman series at Napoli. Now, last time we left off, we won the domestic treble in Italy, retaining the TIM Cup for the second time. And in both of the last episodes, I asked you guys what you thought about me going for the Juventus job. And actually, at the start of recording this episode, I was quite confident I was going to stay at Napoli, just because a few people said that maybe we hadn't finished the job because we hadn't even yet played with them in the Champions League, which obviously we would be doing next season. And I was all ready to be on board with doing that until it got to the transfers. And we're at the 30th of May now. I like to get my transfers done early. You might see that I've already managed to bring in Bruma to Napoli. He'll be a new player on the right wing because we don't have a good right winger. So he'll come in. He's about a 3-star player. I tried to sign Cancelo on a free, but that wasn't going to go through. You'll see we've only got £15 million in the transfer budget and 150 grand in the wage budget. And what's really done it for me was I tried to sign Castellano for £16 million. Not an awful lot of money, but we just could not afford his wages even a little bit. So Castellano was looking for wages of 250 grand a week. He wasn't willing to budge on it. And when I had a look at the transfer list and potential targets, they were all players who were going to need 150 grand. I've also had Raimundo hand in a transfer request, Morgenstern's handed in a transfer request, and I'm sure there's going to be 2 or 3 others that follow suit as soon as big clubs start doing their transfer business. So I think overall, I'm just not quite into this save in the same way that I was before. Now, as a result of that, I took a look at the job security screen, and a lot of people did want me to go to Juventus, but a lot of people were also saying that I should go to Germany. And there are 2 clubs there that fit both those bills. So I've applied for both Juventus and Leverkusen. I don't mind which one of those 2 I go to. I think they're both really good clubs, but I think I'm going to let the game decide whichever one offers me a job first. If either of them do, I'm going to take that job, and we will either be manager of Juventus or we'll be manager of Leverkusen. We'll just have to see how it goes. Well, Bayern Leverkusen are the first team to actually approach me, and as you can see on the screen, they do have a rich financial state. The maximum wage allowed only 114 grand though. That could be an issue. The wage bill still nearly up at about £2 million, but an average wage of 24 grand. It's interesting the way they're set up, and because I can't see the transfer list, it would be a bit of a risk moving to Bayer Leverkusen. They finished 5th in the league. Bayern Munich, obviously the champions yet again. If we just have a if we just finish the interview, no other requests to propose, and then take a look at Bayer Leverkusen's club, you'll see that in their history they've been finishing around 3rd, 4th, 5th. They did win the title though just 5 years ago, and since then have been on a steady decline down the positions. Their senior squad looks reasonably interesting. This is actually their senior squad. A few good players in here, still some players worth a bit of money. Jonathan Tah, obviously a very good player. Munir, former player for a little bit at Valencia, if I remember right. Henriks, just 27, 32 million pounds. Bailey, 26 million pounds. Jimmy Pia, we know how good he is. He's up front, looking very good. Sold from us for £8 million, so for £17.5 million. And then Julian Draxler's in there, just 30 years old at the minute. Quite a few players, to be honest, who aren't that bad. So I think that would be quite an interesting job. It'd just be a case of whether we can topple Bayern Munich or not. But I think that would be a very interesting save to try and take on to give us our first challenge in German football. Well, for all of you that didn't want me to go to Juventus, there's a bit of good news for you. I haven't even had an interview. I didn't make the shortlist apparently because I'm managing Napoli, and they feel like it might be a controversial move to bring me in from Napoli. So they've decided not to even shortlist me. I think I would have been able to get the job had that not been the case, but it means that we're now entirely reliant on the Leverkusen job going our way. Not many other teams up for grabs here, but over the course of the summer, if we don't get the Leverkusen job for whatever reason, I'm sure the jobs will come up because it is an international tournament year. Well, this is very interesting. I've not been given the Leverkusen job. Michael Skiba is the manager they've picked to take them forward. What on earth is his job history to have been able to beat me to the job. He's never won a league. He's won a couple of cup competitions, but that's it. That's really unfortunate that we've not managed to get that job. It means that we are going to be stuck at Napoli at least for the summer. We'll see what jobs do come up after the international tournaments, but as things stand at the moment, we are staying at Napoli. Well, we are now at the start of pre-season. We've got our friendly setup and the Super Cup TIM Cup final to look forward to as we look to retain that for the second year. Now, there has been quite a few transfers to tell you about. I've almost certainly decided to stay at Napoli. If we take a look at the staff screen after the Euros, which were won by Spain, you'll see that there's just no jobs going whatsoever. So we are at Napoli, whether we like it or not. I'm not too worried about that because I think we can have a good go at Serie A with the transfers we've made, and there are a lot of big transfers to talk about. And it'll also be interesting to see how we get on in the Champions League. We've been out of the Champions League now for a couple of years, so it'll be interesting to see how we do when we get back into that competition. Now, the transfer screen is the most interesting one. We've got £15 million left in the bank and about 60 grand. I just want to warn you, a couple of big players have left. The first one being Rubens Raimundo. He's gone to our former team, AS Monaco, for £60 million, rising to 74. We will certainly get all £74 million of that money. I didn't really have a choice. He was so miserable at the club, and when they came knocking, I had to let him go. He's now on 325 grand a week, which we were never ever going to match, and it's really frustrating because he's such a good striker. Last season, getting 39 goals in 46 games, and he's just going to be a huge miss to the team. Other big players to leave: Heinz Morgenstern has gone. He's moved to Spurs. We'll get 33 million for him, probably a bit more as well. Worth just sort of noting, he has been at the club a long time, £17 million, about 5 years he's been at the club, and he's done well in that time, especially since I've been the manager of the club, and I think we'll probably get the full £45 million for him as well. So a couple of really big transfers there. Other notable absences: Musacchio's finally gone, which gets his 110 grand wages off the wage budget. Florenzi also gone to our former club Valencia, £2.6 million, that's his 120 grand a week wages gone, and Selegas has also gone to Real Sporting Gijon. He wasn't really getting in the team, and he wasn't that good a player. Now, the big transfers coming in, there's a couple of them. The first one is Nicolas Santamaria, a player who I've tried to sign for quite a long time. You might remember him from our time at Benfica when he was scoring goals left, right and centre for Sporting Lisbon. He's quite a good striker, and I think he's got brilliant mentals as well, certainly better than Raimundo, and I think over time he could become a very, very good player. He's had decent returns for Sporting Lisbon, not the highest average rating, which does worry me a little bit, but there weren't many other striking options out there, and with Morgenstern gone as well, we had to get a new striker in. Now, the big area we did need to improve was defence, and we signed probably one of the best centre-backs in the game, Taha Guinuni, let's go with that, or Taha, let's just call him Taha. He's come in for about £35 million, £35.5 million. He's already had brilliant results at Lyon, another player that was on my shortlist when I was at Monaco, but I wanted to see how he developed before signing him. He's become a world-class player. He's playing regularly for the French national team. He's going to be absolutely brilliant for us, a nice youth prospect. Michael Amighi, a former Monaco player that we signed, you might remember him. We got him on an absolute steal, just £3.2 million from Monaco. He was put on the transfer list, and we got him so cheaply, and he's such a good player. He was almost in my first team at Monaco while I was there, and that's 2 years ago. I think he can really develop into somebody that is absolutely world class. Bruma you already knew about, but the other one, another familiar face, Andres Cubas. We've brought him in to strengthen the midfield with Selegas and Florenzi gone. He'll do a good job in defensive midfield. He could also, if we need to, play in the central midfield area, but I'd rather not play him there. We are blessed more in defensive midfield than central midfield, but I don't think that's a big issue, and we might still be able to bring in another central midfielder. But overall, I think the team now is really starting to take shape. I would have loved to bring in maybe 2 more players, another possible fullback and a central midfielder. We obviously missed out on Conseil, which was a shame. Another player who I was trying to bring in was Djalo, who looks fantastic for Barcelona. I think he's got better rather, and has more ability than my scout believes he does. He's certainly been doing well for Barcelona, getting decent ratings, and was getting very good ratings at Porto as well. So he is an interesting one to keep an eye on, but we don't have the money to sign him just at the moment. But I'm very happy with our transfers overall. We spent £99 million. I think that is more than good enough to strengthen our team for another title run. I don't think we're good enough for the Champions League just yet, but we should be able to win the title a little bit more convincingly than we did last season. Well, it is now time for the Super Coppa match against AC Milan, but it's also the time for the Olympics, which means that we're missing Diabate, Pires and Grunoni for this game. We've got Amighi suspended, Santa Maria injured for 3 to 4 weeks, so he might not even be back for the start of the season, and Koulibaly is suspended as well. So we really are just putting together a makeshift team. We don't even have a striker for this game, so Curo is going to have to play in attacking midfield support. I'm going to change that to attacking midfield attack, which hopefully will get him forward a bit more, with the 2 inside forwards also on the attack. Castellano, though, we managed to bring him in, which I nearly forgot to tell you. We managed to sign the player who nearly made me leave this club when we failed to sign him first time round. We had enough cash left to bring him in. If we look at his history, you'll see we got him for £16 million. He's had a couple of rough seasons at Monaco, but you can see when we were in charge of him, he was getting 7.3, 7.4 ratings, and I'm hoping that he can get back to that level. He's only 26 years old, so he should be very, very good. And down that left wing with Bruma down the right wing, I'm expecting good things from those two. In midfield, Diawara and Asensio are joined by Kubas, making his debut with Traore, Koundé, Mancini and Husai, the back four, Murray in goal. It's a very similar team to last season. We're just missing all of the really big players we have at the club. Well, here we are kicking off against AC Milan in this final, a team whose season we absolutely destroyed last year, pipping them to the league title after a sensational collapse and then also beating them in the TIM Cup final. Here's Jeffrey Bruma though, he sends it into Kubas, now Diawara over to Asensio, looking to make a penetrating run. Ball just stolen away, Casemiro has it, he dinks it forward, but Koundé wins the header. Diawara to Asensio again, ball over the top looking for Castellano, but Saint-Just does get there. Ball sent forward from the keeper, won by Koundé. Diawara has it again, Asensio coming forward. Runs past one player, inside to Curo, ball over the top, Castellano in, and Castellano scores on his debut for us. We have the lead against AC Milan, 1-0, and we're off to the perfect start to this season. Husai with a throw into Asensio. Here's Diawara through towards Bruma. The ball comes to Kubas though. He finds Diawara, tackle from Casemiro. And we weren't able to get the ball back. Now DeFranco looking to cut in from the right side, but Koundé having a very good game so far. Diawara trying to go through two players, and he has done. He's kept the ball as well. It's bounced to Curo. Now Castellano cutting inside. You can just see that lack of striker up front. We do have players making a run through the middle. It's Curo furthest forward here. Now Diawara over to Castellano. Ball to Curo. He's in on goal, and he's made it 2-0. And who needs Raimundo right now? The attacking midfielder is doing absolutely brilliantly. 25 minutes in now, still got our 2-0 lead. We've only had 2 shots, but so have AC Milan. Here's a corner from Bruma, sent into the middle, but Plizzari does come to claim it. 3 shots we've had now. Romagnoli over to Smirnov, ball sent forward, but straight to Koundé. Now Diawara, inside to Asensio, ball forward to Curo. Ball slipped through to Bruma, he's in on goal, he's in behind the keeper, and Bruma makes it 3-0. We are tearing AC Milan apart, even though we don't have any of our big name players. This is a very good sign for next season. Asensio into Diawara. Ball out wide to Husai, he's got a man at the back post if he puts it in. Bruma's at the near post, he's hit the woodwork and the defence clears the ball away. Last minute corner for AC Milan, sent to the back post, and Romagnoli has beaten Murray to that ball somehow. It's now 3-1, and that's really silly that we've conceded a goal in that situation at that time. Well, we're over an hour into the game now, and we are still totally in control. That goal from AC Milan certainly looking like a fluke at the moment. It was it was Murray's fault, and it's his clean sheet that's been ruined as a result. And with 20 minutes to go, we might as well make a change. Let's bring on Balbuena, who will certainly be getting a lot more football this season. I think losing Selegas should create more chances for him and Felipe, the two youngsters, to get a bit more game time, because they're very good players. And that's one thing maybe that I didn't appreciate enough last season. We do have a lot of great youth prospects in this team, and bringing Amigi in as well will only strengthen that when he's back in the squad. Pacheco, another great defender that we've got as well. He can come on for Mancini. I think overall, actually, I'm quite glad we did stay. I mean, selling Raimundo was difficult to do, but I think it's really allowed us to just convert more of the team, because we had a lot of individually great players but not a great team. This season I feel like we've got the makings of a great team, but we're still one summer transfer window away from making it into the perfect team. But with another minute left of play, we are almost certainly going to pick up another piece of silverware. Diallo's shots blocked, St. Just on the ball. Now Koundé has it, over to Traore. Ball forward to Castellano, just 30 seconds left. This will be the second time we've won this competition. Adding to 2 TIM Cups and the Serie A title, we'll have won 5 trophies in under 2 years at this club. It'll be 2 years in January, but there's the full-time whistle. We have won another cup competition with Napoli, easing the pain of missing out on those other jobs that we applied for. I think actually I'm much happier for staying at Napoli. I think we're in a really good position to have a very good go at the league title this season, and it means that we have once again won another cup competition, so we can be very happy at that. We've got another friendly against Olympiacos to go before we kick off the league season at home against AC Milan, so that'll be an interesting game. We'll then take on Chievo and Crotone before we find out who we're playing in the Champions League group stage. But that is going to be it for this episode. It's been a bit of a roller coaster one, a lot of unexpected things happening. Drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed it, but until next time, see ya.